Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 custom match on the map generator, so let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting with the Northwest team of Team 1. Let's go ahead and introduce our first player of Thunderstorm XX, going first land as a Cybran in Stitch Blue. To the west, we have the Royal Purple player of Vinyl 117 going first land as a UEF. Must be a fan of Sierra 117, Master Chief in the Halo series. I haven't decided if it's hot pink or lightish red pink. I think I'll go lightish red pink. We have Azeros going first land in as an Aeon. And again, if you know the reference to lightish red, let me know down in the comments. And last but not least, for Team Run, up here in the northwest section of the map, we have the Cypher player of Moors going first land in Barbie Pink. So again, lightish red pink and Barbie Pink. I think that's what I'll do for colors, for at least, because the pinks are like kind of close, but I'm still debating if I want to flip those or not. But anyway, going down here to the southeast section of the map for Team 2, starting with the Batman Gray player of Furio going first land as a UEF, going first land, most likely second air. To the southeast and the rearguard air slot, we have the Ruby Red player of Nomander going first air as a Seraphim. To his west in Imperial Gray, we have Array 2024 going first land, second air as a UEF. And last but not least, for Team 2, we have Telemazer in Amethyst Purple going first land, probably second Navy, I would assume, or maybe second land as well, further to the west. And again, he is a Seraphim. He is a Cybran, not a Seraphim. And again, going first land in Amethyst Purple. Let's take a look at racial disparities for both teams, starting with Team 1 up here to the north. We have a Cybran, a UEF, a Seraphim, and an Aeon. So all of the races represented here on the northwest side of the map for Team 1. All the tools in their toolboxes ready to be thrown at their enemies. And for Team 2 down here in the southeast section, we have 2 UEF, a Cybran, and a Seraphim. So no Aeon technology for them, no Galactic Colossus, no Tempest or Zars. Let's go ahead and look at the reclaim here just for a second. There is like no reclaim. There is a 1, 2, 3. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7, I'd say 8 spots on the map. 3, I guess you already claimed that one down here. So there was 8 spots on the map, at least in terms of this distance of reclaim. That is it, folks. No reclaim. Maybe 1,000 mass. That was it, if that. We do have a decent amount of mexes here on the edge of the map. We have a small little plateau island up here in the middle pond, or the pond. There is 2 islands on opposite sides. So there's a couple mexes. Wouldn't be surprised to see on artillery bays, tac missiles of the sort. This is not a 20 by 20, and as indicated, this is as far out as I can zoom. I can't even see the full black border. So I would assume this is probably close to like a 12, maybe even a 10 by 10. It's obviously not a 20 by 20. I'd say, yeah, about maybe a 13 by 13 would be my largest estimate for this map. We have early movements out here to the west, out here for the comm of Telemazer. He is going in with some support, building a forward land production facility. He did get an an air factory up and running, so he probably got more factories before he did that. But lots of land being produced here for the purple player of Telemazer. Amethyst. I keep thinking Abysmal for some reason when I think of Amethyst. And I don't know why. I don't know why that connection is made in my head. We have a drop out here from the Barbie Pink player of Moors. He is moving his comm westward, but wanted to get forward land factories online. They are getting a PD, so that will help protect these engineers very briefly, and gets a radar to ensure that that PD has a nice, not line of sight, but at least a intel on what's going on that station. I selected the wrong pink player there. My apologies. And that's the range of that intel down here to the southwest section of the map. They know where the comm is, but again, early stages, only 5 minutes in, not really a rush to kill any comms. In the northeast section of the map, however, not really a whole lot of aggression. We are seeing units trickle in for both teams. Up here, the comm of Thunderstorm and the comm of Furio moving on this eastern section of the map. There are 5, 6, 10 mechs up here, so a decent chunk of mass extractors to build. Over here, we have drops out here from the lightest red player of Azuros. He's getting the the high ground, as one person in Star Wars would say, and getting factories down. He went for an Aeon factory. I was very confused what that was about, but looks like somebody on Team 2 had built a factory and it was destroyed. And Nomander making the comment to his teammates that Array is going Navy, which he is. Going to get the early naval aggression. Wait. No, that's his own teammate saying Array go Navy. And that is the Imperial Grey player. He is going to drop in some units and then eventually obviously get those factories up and running. We do have Furio out here to the east, getting his own factory up online. Good counter to early frigate aggression or subs, because frigates can't fight against subs. So that's a very good counterattack to those incoming frigates. Unfortunately, they are drifting southward further and further and going to go after these engineers, locking out Array out of the Navy for now. Large push out here from Telemazer, just funneling mass into these Mantises as well as the Sky Slammers and a couple of these. I keep thinking Snoops, but those are the Yuan variety. The Moles for some intel as well. He has some bombers as well. Very good mix of units, taking care of his own air and land. The very good combination of strategies there. We are seeing the first comm on comm action here to the southwest section of the map. Moore's getting some pot shots into Telemazer. Moore's has 11.5k hit points on that comm, and Telemazer has 10k even. So the advantage in the hit points. And we also see the comm of Azuros walked all the way down. So there are two comms now here on the southwestern approach, going to be able to give Team 1 that early advantage in building up defenses. Gun speed and range going down from Moore's as we speak, going to help secure that southwestern section. While his teammate in the northeast goes after Furio. Furio is running out of units, starting to be surrounded. He does have the hit point advantage versus Thunderstorm as of right now. Still hasn't dropped below 10k, while Thunderstorm has dropped a little bit above 9k. But Furio focusing on his units, his support units, to get his veterancy up, while Thunderstorm going after the comm. I said it's a very good approach. You want to get more hit points, more regen on your comm sooner than later, so you can survive the late to mid snipe attempts on your comm. We have a counter gun speed and range going down for the comm of Telemazer. Telemazer also using the Mantis engineering suite capability to speed up that upgrade. Obviously, it does cost mass to run, of course, and energy, so you got to make sure you have that in the tank. Telemazer is on Team 2. He is draining his mass pretty quickly, but he's not stalling severely. So once he finishes that, he does finish the first upgrade and goes for stealth. So he's going to be super aggressive with that comm pretty early. Moore's also using his comm to great effect. Moore's, I don't know why it's not saying his sorry, not Moore's, Azuros, I don't know. So he's going for gun, the ranged one first, and then he'll probably go for speed as the next one. Just finished the speed. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't pop up with the little text around the comm saying how fast it's going down, which is really weird. But most of the time it does, but for some reason once in a while it does not. Back to the northeast section of the map. Furio has dropped into the yellow. Units out from Furio. Focus down the comm. Furio does not have a Rankin vet as of right now. Probably desperately would be getting that. There's a bomber rush over the top. Furio drops below 1,000 hit points, well actually 100 hit points, and is killed off. Thunderstorm strikes the first blow against Team 2 and will pretty much claim this northeastern section for his team. dropping this game to a 4v3 in favor of Team 1. Decent amount of intel installations down here to the south, making sure there are no chances that the enemy gets any sort of advantage or sneak attack or any sort of thing. Bombers race overhead to take out that naval factory. More frigates appear out here from Vinyl 117. He's going to lock the Navy game out for Team 2. Team 2 not really looking good right now. They've lost a player. They don't have Navy or any naval units for that matter. And they're starting to start to be hemmed into their corner of the map. So definitely got to get a win on the cards here soon, or it's not going to favor them here fairly well. Forward land factory for engineers would be the staple right now. There are some units out here from the Imperial Grey player of Array. Array saying, if I can't go Navy, I will go land and assist in land. So these additional units will definitely help with knocking out this position of 2 comms. We have some Notha fighter bombers overhead dropping bombs on Azuros' comm. The anti-air installations are starting to do damage to those Notha fighter bombers, but they're just fast enough to avoid most of the incoming fire. Azuros using that Aeon sniper comm against the comm out here from Telemazer. The bombers come in kind of for another approach, but there are interceptors nearby to help dissuade them. The land push has started here in the southwest section of the map. Telemazer focusing down the comm of Moors first. The Notha fighter bombers fly overhead, drop their bombs, and then get summarily destroyed. There's one left. Doesn't get another bomb off. Trying to avoid incoming fire. More interceptors fly overhead, target that fighter bomber. More are inbound, dropping the bombs onto Moors' comm now. But the units out here from Array helping, assisting the distraction of these PD. And this position is getting overrun. Team 1's ACUs have to get out of there. This is not a tenable situation. This is not a good situation to be in. Just being overrun here to the south of the map. And would like to see some more Notha fighter bombers out here from Team 2 to kill at least one of the comms off. There are some Janus overhead that get summarily destroyed, dropping the hit points even further down. The comm of Moors is a 2-star comm. Azuros is a 1-star comm, so they'll get some more regen. Telemazer is a 2-star comm, almost 3-star comm. Once he kills, most likely will get 3-star once he finishes off these land factories. He kills one. He's close to killing another one. We have a wave of ASFs over the top of these ACUs out here from Team 1, defending them as best as they can. And besides that, Team 1 has lost the southwest corner, but they have gained the northeast corner and even more territory on this eastern edge of the map. There's not really a lot of defenses to help resist this push. There is a couple PD and a couple of factories nearby, but I don't think it's going to matter to a whole lot. Mantis coming in waves, taking out the shield. Excuse me, I had to cough there for a second. Taking out the shields. We're seeing counters to T1 Navy from these T2 Riptides, these amphibious tanks able to float. Very much similar to the Seraphim units. Very, very annoying units, those floating units. We're seeing more engineers being dropped all the time to try to establish some sort of presence in the Navy. Keep making frigates, says Azuros. He has built a destroyer. I mean, he should build cruisers, to be fair. He has actually built one in the middle. Though, unfortunately, there's not a lot of direct fire or projectile weapons on those cruisers. So a lot of these frigates are going to go down, and the cruisers as well, if the cruiser does not leave here pretty soon. We'd like to see the cruiser probably go over here and support the eastern flank, because, oh man, the work that Thunderstorm is doing, just pushing and pushing and pushing and not stopping. The old base that was once Furios is going to get overrun here pretty soon. He needs PD, and he needs it now. These T2 units are not enough. He actually pulls some of the reinforcing units from the water to deal with this land push. And Team 1 over here has fallen back. They aren't really establishing a forward position as of yet. There is one Oblivion turret going down. I always confuse Oblivion and Obsidian. Like, I don't know why I keep thinking they're Oblivion tanks and Obsidian turrets when it's the other way around. But, I don't know, it's just something that I have to keep being mindful of. The shield goes down. T2 Land Factory trying to pump out as many units as it can. PD being spammed up as fast as it can. Engineers being priority down by these Mantises. Looks like the rest of that push out here from Thunderstorm will conglomerate, coagulate, come together, meet up in this section of the map here. Pretty much like almost at the 50% horizon line, at least you cut the map in half horizontally. Missiles out here from those cruisers, very annoying. They deal lots of damage to structures. These units out here, these engineers out here from Nomad are trying to do their best to stave off incoming fire and just build more and more of these naval factories. We see Bulwark as well. So, oh man, just Vinyl just pumping anything and everything he can into the Navy. That's his main goal and main focus at the time. He's building another destroyer, and he's going to get a bunch of T1 factories online. What's going on in the main base? Obviously, T3 has been achieved. T1, T2 might start to be a priority for Thunderstorm. Would like to see more air plays out here for Team 1, trying to secure their gains over here so far. We do have that smaller island plateau area to the northeast owned by Nomander. He's going to try to hold on to that for as long as he can. These Riptides are actually forcing back a lot of these units out here from Team 1, and as long as they keep moving, the missiles cannot hit them. They'll still be able to target the structures, of course, but at least the units in or on, over, hovering over the water, can at least hold them back. There's a fire base being built here for the combined units out here from Moors and Azuros on this western flank out here for Team 1. Trying to hold it down as much as they can, and a missile launcher has now been fired and is probably going after the comm of Telemazer. Telemazer moving as best he can. No, it's actually going for radar? Oh, it's going for the factory, excuse me. Takes out the factory. That Zapper was built just after that missile flew past it, so would like to see more TMD built up here for Team 2's side of things. We have some Stinger gunships out here from Vinyl as well, so getting into the air game and assisting in the just Navy lockout here against Team 2. And that seems to be Vinyl's main goal, is to prevent any naval units being built out here for Team 2, and that will, that secures a huge section of the map. The pond here in the middle takes up probably about at least 40%. I wouldn't say 50 because there's just a lot of like land. I'd say about 40% of the map. So that's 40% of the map just guaranteed owned. We have a T3 mobile sonar platform moving forward, making sure he knows everything in the water. And if I am correct, oh, that is the wrong purple player. He can't actually see. Okay, he can see them. They're technically once they float onto water, they are considered Navy units. I didn't know if they were or not. I would like to see some anti-air here for Team 2 side of things, but it's hard to. I don't think there's floatable or hoverable T2 anti-air for the UEF, so he's gonna just have to deal with these ASF. There are a couple of these Corsairs, the Governors, these cruisers nearby. They don't want to attack or get near their anti-air turrets because they just start annihilating ASFs. But they were able to deal with the gunships out here from Vinyl. Another one appears, but again, this force out here from Nomander isn't going to do a whole lot. He's trying to stave off them long enough to build naval factories, but the pressure out here from Team 1 is just too strong. We are seeing a probing attack out here from Array, trying to get an idea of what's going on. Takes out one of the Oblivion turrets, not Obsidian turrets. One of them does go around this little kind of crescent hill cliff thingy. Build up just here in the southwest section of the map. T3 Land Factory, pumping out these T3 engineers, probably going for... What would you building T3 engineers for? Maybe just building more factories. There is a strap bomber over the top for Team 1. It takes a lot of incoming flak and fire, and it will fall pretty much Not it's pretty much in no man's land, but not really worth it. Was able to take out some mexes though, so I'd say that's probably worth it. At least 2 for sure. We have Nomander here in the back going air grid all day, every day, trying to pump out as many ASF as he can. And in terms of the ASF game right now, we have 24 for him, and Azuros we have 24. So dead even in the ASF game, and I don't see any ASF for any other players right now. But Eco, as of right now, Team 1 leading by 300 mass a second. And that is just due to the fact that they have more of the map than Team 2 has. And, you know, this huge section of just... There's what? Oh, I didn't mean to select all of them. Thunderstorm has 24. He has, you know, 8 of the 10 up here at T2. One of them is ringed as well. So just the amount of mass that Team 1 has available to them. And you can see that in the totals here where they have almost 60, well, let's say a comfortable 40,000 advantage. But probably close to 50 at this point. And just the missiles start raining in onto that main base out here from the purple player of Telemazer. The missiles just get launched constantly. The zappers cannot keep up, and because of that, they start getting destroyed. Missiles are actually prioritizing the TMD to prevent them from just being ineffective. The cruisers' missiles, to be specific. Just a huge buildup of units down here to the southwest. Not really pushing. I would like to see them push a little bit. They're probably waiting for the Monkey Lord to be finished, that spider bot. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else going for Team 2 as of right now. We have a transport out here. This Illuminar transporting engineers to the front, probably going for a very forward factory. And Team 2 is just getting hemmed in further and further. They are... Nomader's trying to get factories along this eastern side of the pond, but it's just very hard when the constant pressure out here from the Navy, and it's not a very far distance. You know, you build units, and then you just swim them over, and then that's it. They're right there, not very far. But I'm just interested to see what will happen with this army down here to the southwest. It is 22 minutes. Starting to be a little dicey here for these comms out here for Azuros and for Morris. If Team 2 was able to kill both of these players, I mean, obviously would hand the, you know, infrastructure and mass over to another player on Team 1, but the amount of APM that they would lose would be a decent amount. Their highest rated and then their second highest rated players are both killed off, you know, relatively close to one another. That's going to hurt, and that's going to cause them to fall back at least a little bit. We're having ASF just take out the gunships over the top of these Riptides. Riptides just being used to great effect here, trying to deal with as much damage as they can. Destroyers and bulwarks and cruisers not really been able to hold them off for long. Would like to see a couple of these Riptides focus on this flotilla of cruisers. I would assume T3 would be on the cards at some point, getting those battleships and battle cruisers up. Even Thunderstorm is getting into the Navy game. So actually, all 4 players on Team 1 have gotten into the Navy just to have Navy at some point. So definitely diversifying units and interests and decentralizing all of that. Very good move there. Telemazer has built that experimental. Thunderstorm has also built an experimental, probably a Monkey Lord. Yep, all the way in the back line. It's going to take a couple minutes to walk over. But now this T1, T2 army down here to the south, I would wish that Array would hand over these units to Telemazer so he can just select them all and move them all at once. But that Monkey Lord is going to charge in by itself. I would like to see support. Yep, there you go. Supporting units are moving in. The comms out here for Team 1 have retreated. Azuros has transferred control over units to Moors. I'm assuming that's the rest of this base. But that position is going to be overrun. Unfortunately, the Monkey Lord was not fast enough to kill either of those comms. Definitely a sad day for Team 2. They could have gotten 2 kills, but they just didn't have the firepower to penetrate that fire base. And even if they had, I think walking back would have allowed Team 1 to at least rescue one of the 2 of those ACUs. But that forward position just getting overrun. There's no layered defense here on this western side, unfortunately. We have Moore going to walk into the water. Zeros is going to walk to his main base. I'm assuming we're going to have T2 Oblivion turrets and... oh, I don't remember the name of the Seraphim ones off the top of my head. But wouldn't be surprised to see any sort of movement out here to the west for defenses. We are seeing some gunships as well. But unfortunately, there is some flak in the area, so that will be minimized. Hopefully the gunships target the flak first and not the spider bot moving forward. More gunships and more bombers being just pulled from multiple sides of the map, trying to just force back this push out here from Team 2. This is Team 2's first, I'd say, win in terms of map control. The Monkey Lord is the prime target of these T2 Spectre gunships. More of them arrive, dropping the Monkey Lord into the yellow. Zeus coming in over the top. Its hit points drop below 50%, then gets a rank in vet. The gunships are focusing on the Monkey Lord, allowing the units out here from Team 2 to continuously walk forward. There are more gunships in the back line. Fortunately, there aren't really that many ASFs to really warrant pushing it just for this control. There are ASFs actually for Array as well, so maybe the combined air forces would be able to be enough to knock out this group of ASFs out here from Azeros. But Azeros guarding his gunships very heavily. We are seeing the Monkey Lord be able to use its torpedoes or missiles or whatever the heck they are, because they're floating. I guess are they touching the water? I guess they're touching the water, so those torpedoes could hit them. But there is no air support over here on the western side, no anti-air. The ASFs, they're thinking about it. The control of all ASFs has been given over to Nomander. Very good move there out here from Array. The ASFs attack one another overhead. Looks like there are more ASFs out here for Nomander. That will be an air win for him. Takes out a lot of those gunships as well. Torpedo bombers were built up, but the Monkey Lord gets out of the water just in time to survive. Shields have been built up. Oblivion turrets have been built up as well. That Monkey Lord is going to die, unfortunately, for Team 2. Takes out a decent amount of the defenses and then falls, unfortunately. That T1 army, T2 army is not really making any sort of movement. The amount of defenses up here on the front line are just too great. Vinyl saying yike, just noticing all of the incoming Lobos. It's not going to penetrate the main base, but it might take out the forward defenses. We're seeing a huge swath of these cruisers. How many of them does he have? He has 10 of them. You can see the range that these things have. The army out here from Thunderstorm to the east is moving with that Monkey Lord, very similar to what happened on the western side of the map. There aren't really a whole lot of defenses in the area to take out this Monkey Lord. There aren't any gunships as well. They do have air control at the present time. There is a broadsword on approach. The one broadsword is not going to matter. There is a decent amount of triads, though, so maybe they're banking on the triad PD to stave off incoming attack. The volatile explosion kills a couple of the defenses. The Monkey Lord does drop below 50% hit points. We have some spy planes over top, just kind of busying its missiles on board. But a lot of this base is going to go down, unfortunately. These rhinos, these heavy tanks, are able to take a decent amount of the hit points. More of these riptides should be brought to bear, but just Team 1 owns the Navy and is just able to pummel the beaches and shoreline of Team 2. There are Team 1 bombers being spammed up. That broadsword has come into play. There's another one that's appeared. And more of bombers come in from Nomander trying to stave off this attack. That main base that was once Furio's given over to Nomander has now been destroyed. All of its mass and the whatnot has been annihilated. The bombers are going to be able to kill off this Monkey Lord. There is still a decent amount of T2 presence here over to the east, and they're going to push as far as they can southward to that main air grid of Nomander. His ASF are here on the western side, not really fear of reprisals in the air. Azeros doesn't really have air control or that much air to speak of. The Lobos, surprisingly, have penetrated the front lines and have started to go around the edge of the main base out here for Moors, and they're dealing a decent amount of damage to the land factory. I would like to see the Lobos prioritize it a little bit more, but I understand trying to, crawl back or roll back, wheel, whatever, tread back, whatever the all the way to the main base. Azuros is going to be able to defend with that Aeon Sniper Comm. The force out here to the east has done a lot of economic damage to Team 2. Fortunately, the rest of them are going to fall here fairly quickly. But yeah, just Team 1 owns that owns that pond. There's infrastructure everywhere. Nomander has been kicked off of that plateau island up there to the northeast, and is just they're just hemmed into this corner. They own 25%, give or take a couple edges or whatnot. Not really looking good. And in terms of the eco, 1.5 to 900, or it was 1.4 now, but probably 1.5 to 900, 950. So at least a 400 mass per second differential, and that is amounted to a almost at least over 200,000 total mass accrued difference for Team 1 versus Team 2. This is Team 1's game to lose at this period in time, because they have all 4 comms, they have a huge amount of infrastructure, all the mass they could want. There's a huge air force approaching here for the player out here from Telemazer. He went for another air base and is going with a bug, this experimental gunship. Don't really see these used a whole lot, and just annihilating all of these NGs. The ASF out here from Azuros coming over the top to try to take out that Soul Ripper, that bug, but all of them are summarily dealt with. The comm of Azuros is caught napping, and he's trying to dodge those incoming rounds as best he can as ASF fly over the top, try to take out that bug. This is the only thing that can kill Azuros at the present time. SAMs are being built nearby to help deal with the comm. And Azuros, I think he just control Ks. He saw the writing on the wall, trying to take out as much of the air support above him as he could. That bug does get killed off, though. He might have been able to survive, but it was a close call. He did annihilate a lot of Nomander's air, and Telemazer does have some of his air left, but unfortunately this will be summarily dealt with. There's a decent amount of SAMs in the area. But however, there is a wing of gunships on approach, going for, I would assume, the air grid, but there's just the SAM coverage is too great, and these broadswords aren't going to get a lot of work done. Moores builds an experimental. What is it? Is it a naval unit? Is it a ground unit? Is it an air unit? Where is it? I don't see it. Where is it? It's not up on the plateau. Oh, here it is. It is a Galactic Colossus. These things, you know, the 100,000 hit points. They can't give 100,000. It has to be 99,999. It just can't be an even 100,000. Just why? Why can't it be an even 100,000? That's not okay. It doesn't look good. It's like just one more hit point. Just a little more plating on that foot, and it would have been 100,000 hit points. The amount of incoming missiles is just insane. Look at all the zappers that are built, just trying to stave off all the incoming fire. And the fire also coming from those battleships. I don't know. No, those aren't battleships. Those are from the cruisers, right? I think those are from the cruisers. There is a battleship as well inbound and firing its payloads into the main base of Telemazer. There are missiles trying to reach the Fat Boy. It has taken some hits. The artillery from that battleship is focusing down that Fat Boy and kills it right off. Does not give it any chance to make any sort of aggressive play. And you can just see the ring around the pond just of mechs is just annihilated. Some of that is due to the Monkey Lord that happened earlier, but a lot of it is still being pressured down, and you can just see the difference in mass that's creating for Team 1 and Team 2. It is a 3v3 now in terms of players left alive. So Team 2 has brought it back a little bit. It is 30 minutes, so you know, nukes, anti-nukes, that sort of thing starting to appear for both teams. We are seeing the anti-nuke out here from Array. I thought I had to sneeze, and I don't. And you have, you know, that feeling when you feel like you have to sneeze and you don't, and your nose is like all irritated. That's how my nose feels right now. We have a bug out here taking out this upper plateau. Good movement here. There's not really a whole lot that can be gained here for Team 1 going after the bugs like heavily. The ASF force. There was an ASF force out here from Telemazer, but it might have been transferred over to Nomander. Speaking of nukes, I didn't even see the nuke being built. Where is it being launched from? Team Where is it? I don't... Oh, it's out. Wow, it's over here. Out here from Telemazer. He has made this his main base. He's actually going for a disruptor as well. Deciding to pretty much just hide all of his fancy, smancy, expensive stuff over here in the corner. And there is no... Oh, there is an anti-nuke. It is not loaded. It is going for the air grid out here for Team 1. And it is going to land, and that is going to be a beautiful nuke. Beautiful placement. Kaboom. Takes out the SMD, takes out core mass, takes out a huge section of the air grid, takes out the HQ, I think. It does take out the HQ, so no more ASFs or Strat Bombers or the like for Moors in terms of the Aeon variety. He does have an SMD farther forward as well. He has a chicken as well, so a chicken and a Galactic Colossus. Telemazer has to defend this with his life. He's invested a lot of mass into this section of the map. The missile barrages are constantly raining down. His main base is in tatters, trying to survive as long as he can. Array sending mass to Nomander for some purpose. And I don't... Oh, he's building an Awasha experimental bomber. So that is going to be fun to see pretty soon. We have an anti... We have a... No, it's not an anti-nuke. It's a regular... It's a nuke. I was going to say regular nuke because he is Seraphim and the YOLO and whatnot. That nuke is going to launch here pretty quick. Is there any open targets? Well, Thunderstorm is not. He does have 2 nukes loaded. That's not going to work. And that nuke will be able to hit anything that comes after the Navy factory here. Did that nuke, anti-nuke load over here? Where I lost it for a second. Oh, it's right here. Nuke has not loaded for Moors as well. So he's open. So I think the best target would be taking out this western side with the anti-nuke and the 2 experimentals, or at least reduce their hit points to kind of help that western side. Because now it's the corners now are going to be the most important sections of the map. There are some missiles being rained in. I think those missiles are just what are those? What's firing this direction? I don't know what those were. Because those are the missiles out here from the cruisers, but I'm trying to figure out there's like a thinner, you know, I guess that's just artillery or something. Yeah, that's just gunfire from those cruisers. SMD makes a comment to by Telemazer, go 50-50 chance. He does have a 50-50 chance. However, the anti-nuke out here from Thunderstorm will cover the comm of Vinyl, and that's not going to feel good for Team 2 side of the same thing. Should have gone for the western side, and it goes for Vinyl. That is not going to land, unfortunately. The nuke out here from I was going to say Azuros, but he's dead. But from Moors has not been loaded. So, wait. No, it still hasn't been loaded. There are 3 SMD built here on this western side. Unfortunately, again, this nuke is not going to land. Wait. What? They must have just edged it out just barely, it looks like. Well, I apologize. It did land. That probably would have killed Vinyl. Takes out that SMD that was on the shoreline as well. That is a good placement of that SMD, by the way. But yeah, it must have just been out of range. Let's see. Yeah, it was just barely skidding that edge. So they must have known of that SMD. They did know about it, so they were able to edge it out pretty easily. Telemazer says GG. The artillery has been built. No shield coverage, unfortunately. Please build shields on that Telemazer. That bugs me. There is an Awasher over here to the west. So we have 2 nuke launchers and an Awasher. We have an Awasher, artillery, and 2 nuke launchers for Team 2. So Team 2 has brought it back. They have hardly any map control. The pond has been owned by Team 1 pretty much this entire game. Artillery is raining down on the rest of that air grid. So no more air response for Team 1. Team 1 needs to build a secondary air grid at some point. I don't know. I mean, they have 1 air factory here. It's only a T2, though. And Team 1 not making use of the corners of the map. Team 2 was able to capitalize on the corners, even though there's not a whole lot of mass down here. It was just enough. They are losing by almost a 2-to-1 factor in terms of mass, and they're able to pull it out and come back. Just the raining down of missiles and artillery out here. Morris has built an experimental on the western side of the map, I would assume. It is... What is it? It is another Galactic Colossus, so 2 Colossi and a Chicken Bot. He does have an Air Force that he can use once. Once it's gone, it's gone. There's got to be very stingy with it. The walkie-walkie, naughty, I think is how Guile says it. The Salem destroyers have appeared on the land and are starting to shell that forward position out here for Nomander and for the Imperial Grey player of Array. Array trying to build shield coverage as best he can, trying to build TMD, trying to build artillery. Has a couple clink hammers in the back line, so hopefully that'll be enough to stave off incoming fire. The Washer, where is it? Did it already die? Oh no, it's back. It's like, where'd it go? The shields are appearing around that disruptor, so that's good to see. Teleporter has been started for Thunderstorm. He's probably going to go for Telemazer. He doesn't have any upgrades, so yeah, that's probably the first thing he's going to do after he gets the laser. Best bet would be go after Telemazer's artillery as well as the nuke launcher. Nuke launcher almost has another nuke loaded. There's no tele-defense here, so Telemazer, the name of the player, should build Telemazer defense just in case. Does Nomander have any Telemazer defense? No. He's just focusing on building ASFs. He's trying to build that nuke as well. The bomb from the Washer comes overhead, takes out 4 of the Salem glass destroyers. 3 of them are left alive. Man, if he flies that over all those, how many cruisers are there now? I just want to know. I'm very curious. Let's see. Vinyl. There are now 39. So last time we checked, it was like 20 something. It's doubled essentially, and just the amount of firepower inbound is just ridiculous. That SMD is going to fall, unfortunately. Array is building Ravagers. That's not really going to help him. He's got to retreat back to this southeast corner. The bomb tries to edge out a couple of these cruisers, takes out a handful of them, deals some damage to that battleship. The nuke gets launched from Telemazer. The amount of infrastructure left is gone. Oh, the important infrastructure is gone, I should say. There is no SMD. Looks like I don't see any of the experimentals. There's 2 of them down here. Where did the Colossi go? But that nuke will land. Not launch, will land. Takes out a lot of that build power. Kills a chicken? No, okay, I was going to say, does the ion storm go up, but I don't think it was finished. So that's just another hole is torn in Team 1's infrastructure. Are they trying to target the comm directly with that? I think they are. I think they're trying to target the comm directly with that disruptor. Yep. Artillery's landing nearby, like not day by day, second by second. Ping's going down. Artillery lands right next to the comm of Thunderstorm, takes out a lot of his hit points. Another one lands, drops his hit points down to sub 2,000. One more will kill him. One lands very north. Oh, he's trying to teleport. He's trying to get out of there, it looks like. But gets killed by the artillery out from Team 2. And it's now a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. Team 2 having like hardly any mass now. Teleporter has now been started for Array, trying to get out of there, probably teleport over to this western side. We have land incursions to the east. Mass land factory spam is the name of the game out here to the east. Building up all of these Lobos, trying to spam up anything and everything they can. There's the 2 chickens out here to the west making their move. Where did the Colossi go? Did they already die off? Oh no, they're down here in the water. Again, you're not hiding in the water. We can still see your heads. So that probably not shield this more, says a 0. Oh, missed it. Yeah, probably shield the SMD. That'd probably be a good idea. Mass, says Telemazer. How much mass is on the field? Not a terrible amount. I'd say there's probably about 50,000 mass between like the entire map. Just more Washer bombings. It is a 3-starred experimental bomber, so it's going to rep up 100 hit points a second. That's a lot of hit points a second. It's just climbing up super quickly. Gunships being deployed to stave off incoming land incursions. Still a lot of cruisers left. How many more cruisers are there? It was 39. It's dropped down to 36, but that's still a lot of anti-air coverage. Just every time the ASF fly back and forth, just more and more of them get wrecked. Missiles are starting to be launched against that disruptor. The chicken is getting pretty close. The nuke's not going to finish in time. Telemazer needs incoming assistance. There is a crab that was just built. Okay, crab, you got to turn around. The shields on the disruptor go down. Both of those chickens are inbound. The experimental bomber, the 2 colossi are inbound as well. Telemazer has to get out of there. He's building. What is he doing? Is he building? He's starting cloak. He's trying to make sure he's not seen. All of those assisting engineers go down. The chickens have spotted him. Is he going to be able to hide fast enough? No. The hit points are falling further and faster, and he gets killed off. This is now a 2v2 game now. This western side that was so amazing play out here from Telemazer is all but wiped out. The megalith is almost destroyed. Team 1 has now brought it back. Nomander has pretty much full control of all of Team 2's forces. There's a Ray with a couple of his surviving units and structures, but not really a whole lot. The Outwasher just constantly throws bombs more and more as time goes on. Another nuke land is fired off. It's going for the main base from, looks like Thunderstorm, but now it's in control of Moors. Moors brought it back with the 4 experimental plays. One of the chickens does fall, takes out some of that mass. Team 2's got to come back and get all of this mass. There's so much mass over here. The extra range from these anti-aircraft, but the aircraft carriers are able to take out a lot of this air for Team 2. The Awasha fire experimental bomber is starting to lose its hit points quite quickly. Team 2 was backed into a corner. They fought back, took out 2 players, and now it's a 2v2, and Moores looks like he's going to run over with his Barbie Pink forces, dealing with the rest of those units. Telemazer needed to get out of there faster. Unfortunately, the Colossi made that very difficult. And now, I guess at this point, it's just a survival game for Nomander and Array. There's not really a whole lot left. They have 1 nuke launcher, and they're building a Yolana Os in the background. They being Nomander. So hopefully they are able to get that up. Just Go Novax says, Azuros, sup you. I will not stoop to that. I would rather lose. Wow. Vinyl saying no Novaxes. That is definitely a different opinion. Most people would just build the Novaxes and win, but he's like, nah, I'm going to win with Lobos. That's what I'm going to do. And cruisers and governors. Just go mass strats. Yeah, mass strats will work, but he wants to go, I guess, mass Lobo spam, which, I mean, it is a play, but definitely something that he doesn't really want to do right now is mass strat. He being Moors might just go mass strat and just be done with it. Again, controlling the water is a significant advantage in this Necroxus map, but unfortunately this is the only time this map is existing. There's probably other maps very similar to this, but pretty much Array has been given everything over to Nomander to build that Yolana Ots. It's about to tick over into the green here fairly shortly. It's a little under 8,000. It's going to hit it right. Oh. It stopped. Why did it stop before 8,000? Why? Why'd you do that? More and more Lobos and anti-air units are approaching the main base. The Outwasher is deployed. A lot of his hit points have been drained. Bomb lands. Takes out a huge column of those units. He needs to build more and more of these point defenses, flink hammers, just all defenses that he can. Needs to get those up. Needs to get more gunships as well. Nano Repair goes down on the column of Nomander, trying to wrap up his hit points when he does take a hit. Units are starting to invade. Shield coverage would definitely be a good idea now. Now it is over 8,000. Of course, when I look away, that's when he restarts the construction of it. How much he's not positive in the mass game as of right now. He's just trying to survive the best he can. Array has not moved. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's still trying to get that teleport upgrade. But again, it's not really looking good. He just has, 10% of the map at his disposal. Doesn't really have a whole lot of mass income. Only has 380 versus the 2.2k out from Team 1. And this looked like this was going to be a comeback. Team 1 was on the back foot. But Team 2 was on the back foot, then Team 1 was on the back foot, now Team 2's back on the back foot. So it's just a seesaw game back and forth. Nomander is deploying his comm to the front lines, defending his base as best he can. He's trying to hold off enemy units. This Yolana Oz is his saving grace. Eve is able to build it up. Does Team 1 know about it? They know about it. They have seen it at some point. So Team 1 wants to kill it. Array tries to build that teleporter and just dies to the Galactic Colossus. There is a Galactic Colossus inbound, of course. It's now a 2v1 in favor of Team 1. Drop bombers go over the top, target the air grid. Bombs land. They take out a section of it. The T3 air headquarters is still online. Mass Lobo spam is just on the cards. Seraphim bomber on the edge of the map. Are there two of them? No, maybe it's just the one, but I swear there were two of them. Gunships being deployed. That Galactic Colossus, a 4-starred experimental, very beefy. But maybe they're just going to try to walk to that Yolana Oz. The Yolana Oz has ticked into the green. It is 6,500 hit points, 2,500 hit points away from being online. The bomb raises overhead once more. Takes about 12,000 hit points off that experimental's chassis. Dropped 20,000 K. The gunships are trying to do their best. Nomander, you gotta move. Nomander, you gotta move. The Colossus is behind you. Oh, it gets killed off. Nomander, don't walk next to the volatile explosions from these pigeons. That's not good for your health. Ooh, just barely though. The invasion of his base is just unrelenting. Strap bombers come over the top, go after the air grid, I would assume. The bomb does get dropped, takes out a decent section of that air grid once more. The Yolana Oz is over 10k hit points, less than 2k left. That Awasher is still alive somehow. I don't know how, but it's still alive. And the hero Awasher just constantly trying to survive here. Lands its bomb down. The chicken gets ping saying you gotta move it. But just the line of Lobos. Just the line of Lobos. Just so many Lobos. Percent on Yolo, says Azuros. It is almost 90%. Nomander has 0 mass. That can't be true. Is it because he doesn't have any power? Is that why? Oh, he's positive 123, but you know, it's just he can't keep the mass up long enough. Can't keep the power up long enough. When you don't have enough power to run your mass extractors, it obviously reduces the income. You just can't run it. You're great. I suck. He almost had it, boys. Says Vinyl. Yes. Nomander and Telemazer almost had it. Had that southwestern corner not fallen, it pretty much would have been game. Looks like Moors and Vinyl are playing with their food a little bit. PD being spammed up to defend the Yolo. The Yolo, it's slowly being built. I don't think it's going to tick over to 11,000 though. Still a very good attempt out here from Team 2. They gave it their all. They were coming back. They were doing pretty good the mid and late game, but the end game, they just got overrun. That Allwasher is still alive somehow. And maybe just Team 1 doesn't want to take it out, but man, that thing will not die. But the lightning tanks, though, the lightning tanks will kill it. The Seraphim Experimental Bomber, the Allwasher, my favorite air unit in the game. Very pretty. I like the triangular look of the aircraft, and it's, you know, kind of like most of the pieces are connected. I mean, they are connected, but kind of thing. Vinyl control Ks. Moors won the game, but it looks like Nomander also left the game as well. Thank you so much. Someone needed to go for someone needs to go for it and just AFK Alt F4 if you have to, kind of thing. But thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And again, please vote in the poll that I have up on the community post on the channel. This releases at like 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so I'll probably do the recording around like 8 or not 8, 2 or 3, maybe 5 o'clock Mountain Central Standard Time. So you got about 9 or well, 10 or so hours after this video is released to still submit your vote. Again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you made it to the end of the video, please give it a like. Please comment on what your favorite moment was. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you've been enjoying the content, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. And again, tomorrow's video, when this video is released, will be the celebration video for helping me reach 350. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Please check out the playlist for all of my casts I've done so far, and I will see everyone in the next one.